Do they say that once you come back from war, you're really traumatized? Did you suffer from that?
Yeah, the problem with a lot of people when they come back from war, you're quite right. Basically, the people who suffer the most don't talk about it. They don't talk about it, they find it too hard because of the trauma involved with it. And that's why we have such things as Anzac Day, because on that Anzac Day, that's the one day when they do actually remember what the trauma was really like, and they say, well, their friends that were there and so on that kind of suffered and didn't come back, then they have a chance to sort of remember.
So like the one day they can open up.
Correct, they can open up. And in fact, interestingly enough, what we're finding now is that with a lot of people who fought in the wars, because basically they're dying off. You know, you work it out, if you add 50, 60 years to 1945, then these people are getting quite old now, and there's not very many of them left, but they are starting to open up about that experience 50, 60 years ago, and often they have a better memory of what the war was like then now than they had immediately afterwards, because they basically repress it. They shove it into the back of their mind, because it's the only way they can cope, because the experience is so extreme for them. We just don't know, or you don't know what the experience is like yet.
Chances are you've killed someone, so how does that feel? Like you've taken away someone who has a parent.
Well, that's a very good question, and people have asked me that before, and I know that it's something I've thought about a lot, but if you think about it, I did read a comment from someone that sums it up for people like me, especially when I'm a bomb aimer, and I'm dropping bombs on a civilian target, and I know there's going to be women and children that are going to get killed, and I'm responsible for that, because I'm the one who pressed the button on the bomb. But I think you've got to understand that war, and listen to this is quite an accurate way of viewing it. War is a process of killing someone you don't know well enough to hate. You don't know them. In other words, you have to cope with it by making the enemy anonymous. War is a process of killing someone you don't know well enough to hate. Because you don't identify the individual person as the person you hate. It's the enemy, and it's either them or you. It's survival of the fittest. And that's the situation, I think, that, that's how you cope with it. Alright? So have we got any more questions? Good questions too, by the way. Thank you very much for that. Look, I really appreciate it. I'll just show you these. This is the flying suit. This is the flying suit. It's shrunk a little bit in the years. It doesn't actually fit me anymore. Otherwise I would have put it on. I've got flying helmets as well. This one here was rather interesting. This is the scarf that I used to wear, and I used to wear the scarf on every flight except the one that I got shot down on. In fact, there were two things that I did different on that particular flight. One, didn't wear the scarf for some reason because we basically got scrambled in quite a hurry. And two, I didn't play a record on the phonograph. You always did that as part of the routine. Played a record, wore the scarf. It was my kind of lucky charm. Because a lot of my friends hadn't done as many operations as I had done. So I didn't do it, and that's the one time that I got shot down. So there's a little thing for superstition for you. This is known as a great coat. If you have a look at it later on, it's very, very heavy. You feel that. It's a very, very heavy coat. Because it was made for the Russian winter. It was made for those people who had to go to cold climates. You wouldn't use a coat like this in New Zealand because it's too heavy. Yeah, maybe Dunedin, that's about it. But maybe Dunedin. And of course, you know, the wings that are on the hat, of course, the crown, of course, as a symbol of the fact that we are part of the United Kingdom, fighting with the United Kingdom, part of the British Commonwealth. But the wings indicate that you've got the wings, you've got the capability to fly, and to fly a plane. And you know, they give these badges on here. That's the wings that I have, but that one there, that's probably the most important. That's the DFC, Distinguished Flying Cross. So that purple one, diagonal purple one like that, is the DFC. And there were some of my colleagues who actually got DFC and bar. That means they got it twice, because they got another little thing. And of course you have the medals and stuff like that too. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.